All right, everybody, it is global recommendation time. Today we are going to be taking a look at a couple of new global things, global banners, as it so happens. So let's take a look. First of all, I'm just going to get it out of the way. I don't like her global name, Luelle. So for the rest of this, I'm just going to refer to her by the JP, which is Rule, which I think is actually like way better. I actually like that name way better than this one. Disappointing. Anyway, also we have Salma or Salma, however you exactly pronounce it. But those are the two new units that will be coming to the JP side, or to the global side, sorry, which doing a global video. Oh well, that's staying in. An Earth Elemental Mage with the brand new class Scholar, as well as Salma, who is a free character who is a Thunder-based Elemental Red Mage, and both of these characters have their strong points for sure. The Scholar job, I think, is like on the JP side, what the situation basically, she comes out, you know, after Final Fantasy X, she comes out after Nier, she comes out after Lord Mont, and like directly after this, as globalers undoubtedly know, is probably most likely going to be Black Witch Helena. So yeah, I can't really say anything bad for anybody who's just like, no, can't do it or anything like that. Maybe this video will perk some interest into Rule, because I do think she has a really strong place in the future, given that Cloud is coming and that he's a lightning elemental character, as well as Charlotte, who is a lightning based elemental character. So I'm going to kind of demonstrate off some of the strong points, but we're going to need a friend unit, mainly because mine, that is not who I want. Notice that on BlueStacks it's just becoming more and more laggy. So let's take a look what we got here. First of all, we have a level 115 Cloud, who I think is Rule's kind of counter. We have Charlotte, who is also the kind of counter. Now, she's only level 69. Nice, I know, but not quite up to snuff. So, you know, take this with a grain of salt. We're basically going to be casting DPS on her. She has about 40 spirit. As you can see, I haven't completely raised her yet because there are obviously other units I've been focusing on. So, you know, keep this in mind that this is going to be representational. It's not going to be 100% accurate. We also have Black Witch Helena here because I do think that is important to, you know, talk about. And we have Rule. We have Rule, who's a level 65 version, as you can see, about 773 magic, with a pretty base level weapon, because at the time I did not farm it. Very much my mistake. We do have a friend unit here today, which is a much better representation of what Rule essentially looks like when you have her more maxed out, and a pretty nice representation. And of course we have Black Witch Helena here as a comparison, so you can kind of see, you know, this double cost unit that is in the future, and it'll be interesting to see whether she is global double cost or not, because she's obviously incredibly powerful, and she does kind of, you know, I could see why they make her double cost. She is just essentially the best character in the game right now. I'd say that's pretty, you know, fair and accurate. But this is the party, so we're gonna, first of all, before we dive into it, let's take a look at both of the characters. And we're gonna start with Salma because she's a free character. Everybody who plays and does the quest related to it, you know, you have your little story event. You can basically get this girl maxed if you do everything and you do all the achievements and all of that. So yeah, Salma overall is what I would say a generally really good, just free character. She's going to be useful in the future on, you know, specifically selection quests. Selection quests are going to be a thing on global, and JP is just about to get its Thunder Element one, which is where this unit would, you know, do the best. I mean, you can pair her with Cloud and Charlotte. I mean, you could pair with Skull. There's a lot of different characters that she can work with just because, you know, Thunder Elemental synergy and whatnot. But taking a look at her TMR, it's her sword, it's her weapon. It gives her some slash resistance. It has 80 attack, 92 magic. They're all a decent one, but if you have the Lohengrin from a Howlett's event, you're probably going to be wanting to run that instead. Looking at her stats, I mean, I don't think that anything's bad here. Just what is pretty much to be expected in terms of a lower tier character. She has essentially most of the red mage stuff. One of her red mage supports gets upgraded to not only give magic resistance but an agility buff too, which is pretty nice. Counters, pretty standard stuff. Looking into her main job, she has a lot of the stuff you would expect from a red mage, such as magic jammer, which is basically the key attack from this ability. Also, she has a decrease activation time for skills for allies, which is kind of interesting. A little bit more into support. The big new ability for her is a increased slash resistance, missile resistance by 25%. So all allies, that's her big one. And from there, she has Kotodama slash, the messenger class, which has, increased, or she has the confusion ability. She has move to target pack damage. She has the stun ability. She has 100% sure hit ability, which is something I think people would be interested in. Move, jump up. And she has Green Mage, which offers a little bit of a support. I mean, I don't think there's really a huge amount of stuff to talk about here. I think she is a absolutely solid little mage that, is a very easy free build. I think she can work with equipment that's already in there, but if not, she has R. There's no reason, I think, not to just build this character. And I really like her, design and style. Points for that. But real unit to talk about is Rule. And Rule is again, I feel like this unit is a unit that is really not talked about a lot by most people. I mean, sure, you'll find the average person who speaks a bit about her, but I don't feel like she's gotten as much recognition as she deserves. So if I can long click here, bring it up, let's talk about her real quick. So she is an 80 cost scholar, which is a brand new job. It is essentially a mage job. Sorry, it is a mage job that targets other physical based units. She is not necessarily a slouch against other magical units, but that's not really where she excels. Taking a look at her resistance, blue stacks, if you can just keep up a bit. Yeah, not negatively really impacted by magic too much. Strike is dangerous, and obviously people can already tell 2B and into the future for global Tifa will be a weakness for her, but you're not really going to queue into those matches if you have this character. Like, you're going to counter pick a lot of the time, so Cloud is going to be a fairly popular unit in the future, so that's really who she's targeting. And Charlotte will be also popular for reasons, but any physical unit kind of has a little bit more difficulty against the character. He does have Rune Knight as a secondary job and Black Mage as a tertiary job. And taking a look really quickly at her TMR, increase of luck for herself and allies, the allies surrounding her in the 1 range, basically, directly next to her. Also gives Nullify, Blind, and Stop for allies. Pretty decent. Taking a look just really quickly at her jobs, Black Mage is a pretty notable one, and it's the one Altima recommends. Given what I've seen from it, I kind of am a little bit in on that, because it essentially has Flare, which is a good non-elemental damage option. Great for a character that just has Spirit Penetration and can do damage. Flare is always just generally nice to have. She's absorb TP, HP. She has a couple of Earth Elemental spells. She can inflict poison, and poison, I think. Okay. Looking at Rune Knight, she has increased Earth Killer. She can do the Drain, HP, and absorb magic, as well as increase slash penetration for herself for a single turn. Decrease Earth resistance for targets, consume HP to power up, and she has a short range Lightning Killer ability. It is generally nice, but Scholar is the real draw here. It is the brand new job, and it's pretty interesting. Has a counter to all damage of 121% modifier, which is pretty fine. Looking at to her support, the 2 Scholar abilities, activation time for both non-attack skills and attack-based. and increases her defense and accuracy, which accuracy is pretty good if you're ever against an evadey type unit. But looking to her main job, there's a lot of different stuff in here. The sub part of it has some damage that decreases attack, and she has a restore seat for herself that also decreases non-skill and attack, or non-attack skill and attack skill activation. Is both pretty good for 4 turns. So essentially, it gives her pretty much another turn and decreases her skill activation, which is Scholar's kind of big weakness, I would say. Just the fact that it has casting time on it. Now, her maximum, if you can get her into EX to job level 25, her new ability is an increase agility by 25 or by 20% for 3 turns to allies, restore some AP for units that she is targeting, not herself, and increase her own agility by 20% for. So she, it's a party. It's essentially any units that she get in support, she will. And all of that's really interesting. She has a 220% modifier direct line ahead of her ability. It also decreases healing power. She also has a really cool ability, and I'll see if I can't show that one. It is my favorite, and I would say it's probably the signature attack of her, which is this one, Rockfall. Rockfall is a 185% modifier, but it absorbs 30% of the damage done. It's really incredible and feels amazing. This is just a lot of auto heal. It does have some casting time, but if you're running her casting ability, or maybe you're running Siren on her, which Siren's 3-star, removes some casting time, then I don't think it's really that much of a big deal, and this is just a massive heal as we off. She has a increased earth attack for herself and other allies, and boost evocation gauge, so she can power up summons, and gives her a little bit of single target resistance as well as allies. So that's really great. I think all of that's pretty cool. It speaks to a kind of more, just a little bit of a different job class overall. I would say that it's a little bit underestimated. Like more recently I've always been interested in Rule, but never got her and couldn't really afford the resources. Oh, and a crash right in the middle of the video. Well, now this video is going to be going a little bit longer. Shoutouts to BlueStacks. And I could edit this down, but really, this is just another chance for me to talk about other stuff. So while it's reloading, let me jump into the talk about the vision card. So Encounters of Heroes, which is, ironically and interestingly enough, the vision card that I've kind of been waiting for on the JP side. Essentially party-wide magic up, accuracy up, and slash resistance up, while also giving a limited bestowed effect of strike resistance, and max HP and accuracy up for Mont and Rain. Now, I've kind of expected this card to show up on the JP side, specifically around the fact that I was looking at, a fire magic element card for Rain, the fire Ifrit card to counter the idea there that there's the Laswell vision card, which is just a lot of human killer and damage up, and really powered up Laswell. I was thinking that this was essentially going to happen for Rain, just not really on global and not in this way. But there it is. Of course, it reshuffled the friend unit. Boy, do I have nothing nice to say about that crash. Anyway, this vision card seems really good. If you are in on King Mont, it's a heck of a buff, and I think it's totally fine. And the magic up, I don't know. It's essentially almost completely feels like it's just targeted at Rain. And until Global essentially gets the new version of Glassy, or it's confirmed that they're going to be getting the new version of Glassy, I don't know how excited I am for this for the global side. It's nice for sure, and for all of you people who have, attacked me brutally, and wounded me over just how important Rain is overall. I mean, this is essentially, I mean, if you're a Rain fanboy or a Mont fanboy, this is a great card for you. I wouldn't get it for Glassy at this point. Like, I'd wait, you know, you can always get this later off another banner or just off a free pull. But I don't know. I feel like this is a skip unless you are specifically in on Rain or Mont. And, yeah, don't count on Glassy coming just yet. Alright, so we're going to take a look in here, and we're just going to bring this up, and obviously some of this is pretty accurate, some of this is to just give you a little bit of an idea about where the damage may end up here or against some of these units. So we're just going to try and see. We got Black Witch Helena here, and we're going to just cast her Limit Burst. As you can see, that's about the kind of damage that she's allowed. Not necessarily a death blow, but without any buffs or anything, it's pretty darn strong. Taking a look at some single attacks. Maybe if I can target anything. Vision card ability. A little bit closer to a kill with, you know, a few buffs. That's essentially what Black Witch Helena was doing. So let's just wait it out. Cloud, we just want you here. Take a look at what this girl can do. As you can see, there's her general AP start. And just costing Magic Jammer against these other Thunder. This is, oh, it's pretty decent damage. And we're just going to put these two over here. And last but not least, we're going to check out a couple of things to do. Rule. As you can see, that's a level 1 Limit Burst with not a very good weapon with anything like that. So unfortunately, we're not getting the complete damage idea. But then again, it also gives you an idea of how potentially powerful she is, even at a lower level against a Cloud. Or if we can. Here it is. This is her Rockfall ability. And one of the reasons I'm going to just proc this on my own guys is to show you, you know, kind of roughly about how much damage you're essentially dealing here to each of these characters, but also the general amount of HP you can heal even off of this attack. Or do I want to use it in the end? Kind of worried about just we'll do this. As you can see, casting time is one of the concerns. If we ran the buff first, Cloud's going to evade. He heals for about 1700 HP. Pretty darn good overall. Alright, and that's pretty much what I kind of wanted to show off. Just a general idea here of, you know, what exactly this kind of damage output is potentially. Like, when it comes to mages, a lot of people talk about Black Witch Helena a ton, a massive amount, to an even annoying amount, where it's like, she's not the only mage, and I think that Rule is kind of underappreciated. He has a really massive AoE and some interesting damage AoE abilities that are just really incredibly damaged, or, you know, pretty good amount of damage. So if we go back in here again, I just want to show what that Rule looks like, because essentially she's nowhere near her maximum level. She's not even into level 89 yet. Most of her abilities have not been maxed. Sorry, I've been focusing on Fire Glassy. He only has 2800 HP and about 773 magic. And this is the current weapon she is working with. Only a +2 with 89 magic. Her abilities are pretty darn damage dealing. And again, the passives that you're running are essentially, that are recommended, are accuracy up as well as defense up, which makes her tankier. But also this one with spirit penetration. But yeah, I think with the future with Earth Elemental characters, Black Witch Helena is great. Don't get me wrong, she's amazing. She's incredibly powerful. But Rule is a character that you should not rule out. So my last piece of advice for globalers this week, and I know this video is running long, so I'm not going to talk too much. There is an event, the Ancient Tome of Leonis, as well as the weekly quests, and the farm of this brand new weapon. This is not returned yet, as of yet, on the JP side, so I would really recommend farming the Lunar Tome while it is available on Global, because it is one of the things that I kind of passed up on. And now getting Rule later, I feel like I just don't necessarily have the gas to get the most out of her. Rule is an incredible mage, and Scholar is an incredible class. Any new job at this point in Wotv is definitely something to take notice of. And I think it has real potential. I think you can run Rule as a black mage. I think you can run her as a pure Scholar. I think you can run her as a Rune Knight. And all three of these have incredible strength to them and heck of a damage deal. So hopefully I've intrigued some globalers into potentially getting her. Let me know if you are interested or if you're staying the course. There's so many things and so few resources. Thanks for watching. Take care and